What's going on, Drinking Buddies? Brand new podcast coming right at you. But real quick, you know what we got to do first. We don't have any official sponsors this week, but we are brought to you by the video version of this podcast. That's right. You can experience the madness in full HD on Vimeo at ANWD.net/videos. It is 99 cents an episode or $6 a month. Gets you all the episodes on limited streaming. We have 100 episodes right now of the video version. More coming out constantly. So check that out today. Once again at ANWD.net/videos. We're also brought to you by my Twitch stream. That's right. Since the pandemic started, I have been Twitch streaming 4 or 5 nights a week at twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. Once again, that is twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. Come hang out in the chat. Have me do some shots. Having a good time. Play Among Us with the community on Thursday nights. We have a whole Discord. It's really good time. So, it'd mean a lot if you came hung out. And that is once again at twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. And last but not least, I have an Amazon affiliate code set up on AndNowWeDrink.com/episodes. If you're buying stuff on Amazon, which I'm sure you probably are, almost everybody is, go click on my link, and I get a kickback for everything you purchase. Costs you nothing but a couple minutes, and it really supports the show. So once again, go to AndNowWeDrink.com/episodes or ANWD.net/episodes. It'll show you the most recent episode, and there's an Amazon banner link. Just click on it. Check it out. It helps out the show quite a bit. And let's get on with it. My guest this week is comedian Freddy Correa. He is also the host of Thanks for the Invite podcast. I had the pleasure of doing his show a couple years back. And since we're doing it remote and Freddy's Vegas-based, it was awesome to sit down and bullshit with him again on mic. We had a good time. We talked about the nature of podcasting, some really embarrassing masturbation stories. It really went all over the place. So sit back, relax, pop a cold one, and enjoy, Drinking Buddies. Freddy fucking Correa, what the fuck's going on, brother? How you been?
I've been good, bro. It's been a long time.
I know. It's been fucking over a year since I did your show.
Yeah, it has. It's shit. The pandemic now. It's like a big blur now. I can't tell when was what. You know.
Oh no, I'm right there with you. I'm like, oh yeah, I should have this person on my show, but they've been on recently, and then I think about it, like, oh no, they were on like fucking April last year.
Yeah. Did you take a break or anything during this whole thing?
Fuck no.
No. You kept going? Yeah, good.
How about you? Did you take a break?
I always take my little short breaks, but it's like maybe less than not even a month, you know. And then what I do is I couldn't have guests because sometimes I would have a guest and their internet sucks. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to do solo cast and just plow through.
See, I envy you on your ability to do that shit. I've done one solo cast ever because my Thursday release fell on fucking New Year's Eve, and I'm like, I'm not going to waste the guest episode on the New Year's Eve episode because no one's going to fucking listen on New Year's Eve. People got other shit going on, so I did a 20-minute solo cast, but otherwise, it ain't at me. You're a fucking actual comedian, so like your ability to like sit there and riff is worlds above mine.
You're a podcaster. It's no difference, though. I mean, it's not like I'm doing setup punchlines on the solo cast. I'm just rambling.
True. But like, I don't know. Unless I have someone to play off of, I can't just ramble.
I hear you. Yeah, it does feel weird though. I have the first. It's just like, am I talking to myself? It does feel a little weird. And then after 5 minutes, you're probably like, you could probably just roll through it. The listeners appreciate it though. I that's one thing I was concerned. I was like, I wonder if the listeners are gonna like this. And yeah, good feedback on the solo casts.
Fuck yeah. See, none of my listeners are actually here for me. They are all here for the guests. They're just like, Matt's kind of a delivery system We're here. We're what the guest says. Less Matt, more guest.
That's funny. I like your background, man. It's pretty cool. It fits your podcast.
Yeah, it was very much stolen from a bar in London, I'm pretty sure. So for the audio audience, I am all fancy and shit, and I have a green screen. Woohoo.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, no, do you think I'm balling like this to actually be my background? Like, this is actually my apartment or some shit? Fuck.
It looks great. Looks great.
No, it's actually kind of funny, because I have had a couple people over, over the course of the pandemic. I've been a little unsafe a couple times. And a couple of the times there were girls who came by who had, seen the podcast or done the podcast, and they're like, "Oh, I thought that was actually in your apartment." I'm like, "No, girl, no. I'm a 40-year-old man who has a roommate. Do you think I'm balling like this?" Like, yes, I live in Hollywood. Yes, I live in a pretty nice building, but I'm still 40 with a roommate.
Oh, the couch is real, and I like the couch.
Oh yeah, the couch is real, and the couch has seen some real action.
The podcasting couch.
Well, this is the pandemic podcasting couch.
Yeah.
In the real world, like, eventually, hopefully, get back to, like, in person, in the chairs, the standard set.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I mean,
Sure.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying for sure. I'm agreeing with you.
It's like, as much as being able to do remote shows because of the pandemic allows me to do stuff like have you on, because I would have loved to have you on years ago when we met at fucking Skankfest, but it was one of those things like, I don't do remote shows, and you don't roll through LA very often.
Yeah, and the one time I was in LA, we couldn't make it. I remember I was at a friend's house and I had limited time. It was like a rush,
Oh yeah,
in and out. I haven't been to LA since. Can you believe that? That's
I haven't been to Vegas in like fucking a couple of years now too. So
really, wow. Yeah. What do you think after everything kind of comes back? Do you think it's going to be like what they call it, the Roaring 20s?
Some Roaring 20s shit?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was talking about this last year. I keep hoping, kind of hoping, not really hoping, but kind of hoping we get old school like bank robbers like we had in the Roaring 20s and shit like that too. Like, oh, Great Depression where people, regular Joes just start knocking off banks, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
just fucking hijacking some Bitcoin. It'd be like a futuristic version of it.
That shit's definitely still happening. Fuck. I'm curious how they'll make that like entertaining for the screen, because like, Bonnie and Clyde shit, people busting into fucking banks with machine guns, being like, "Yo, give us your money. Your money's insured. Don't worry about it." And out the door is something that's like is cinematic and exciting. Someone just being like, "Oh, I scammed you out of some Bitcoin."
Yeah.
Though, I fell down a rabbit hole on YouTube a couple days ago about some actually, hacker-esque scammer fucking shit that was exciting. These 3 YouTubers uncovered a fucking like phone scam that goes between the States and India, and actually like hacked the call center in India to see the scammers at work. It's a whole crazy to do.
Damn, dude. It's those guys that call you though from India saying they're the Social Security and that you owe money and all. They almost got my mom recently.
Yeah.
She was freaking out. And those are the best targets, older people. I mean, she's 72 years old, and here they are with a thick ass accent trying to pretend they're the Social Security offices. And yeah, my mom was ready to send them a fucking check, dude.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Like, I'll send you the links for these YouTube channels.
Yeah.
They literally like go into how the whole scam works. Like, these guys would call up generally elderly folks who would call them back, and then be like, "Oh, hey, we issued you a refund accidentally. We need you to send it back to us." And then they remote into your computer and then change stuff on the screen so it looks like, oh, instead of $200 back, it's 13 grand.
Yeah.
And these elderly, honest elderly people are like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course I'll send it to you."
Yeah.
And then they fucking instruct them on how to bundle up the cash. And then they ship it somewhere in the States where a local handler picks up the cash, who then passes it on to a supervisor. The supervisor then turns into Bitcoin and sends it back to India.
Whoa.
It's a whole,
Damn.
it's a whole crazy to do. Like, These 3 YouTubers are working with law enforcement and fucking doing it themselves. Like, they're showing footage from inside the call centers, and it was a fun rabbit hole to fall down.
Yeah, yeah. They recently called me from Amazon, supposedly, that I had an iPhone that was going to be returned, and they're trying to get the address from me and everything. I'm like, I didn't order no iPhone from Amazon. And they were trying to get me, and they're like, yes, well, you're going to be charged, and they're trying to scare me. I'm like, dude, I was like laughing the whole time. Sometimes I wish I could record these conversations. I'm like, this would be good podcast content, you know?
Oh, 100%.
Did you hear about that lady that got scammed by a fake Bruno Mars?
No.
Recently? This lady was dating fake Bruno Mars over the internet. She was getting catfished, and little by little, it accumulated to 100,000 that he extorted from her. Yeah, she was on the news and everything, dude.
That's so crazy. And you're a married guy, so I know you aren't fucking around on the dating sites. But my single ass is definitely fucking around on the dating sites, and it's just like fucking scam. Girl legitimately asking for someone to just sign up for her OnlyFans. Scam. And my other friends are like, what would you scam on a dating site? Like, horny, lonely dudes who, like, oh yeah, I'll buy you a ticket. Send them fucking money. People just thinking with their dick because they see a hot fucking picture.
Well, my friend was just on the podcast recently, Ty Rivera. He said even on Grindr now. On Grindr is a bunch of scams, a bunch of like fake people, fake profiles and all. He's like, I'm just trying to fuck, man. These fucking scams, you know?
Oh, yeah. And it got worse in the pandemic because at least with like Tinder, Bumble, like the major ones, they opened up Passport for free where people who weren't in the actual geographic area could say they're in your geographic area.
Oh, okay.
Like, to connect the world during the pandemic. Like, no, I mean, I appreciate seeing a hot girl from Moscow, but I don't want to actually talk to a hot girl from Moscow.
Yeah.
That's a giant waste of my fucking time.
Yeah. Fucking end up on 90 Day Fiance and shit, fall in love with her.
Actually, that's some funny shit. Like, I matched with some girl from New Zealand who's like, who wants to be my 90 Day Fiance?
Wow.
I'm like, yo, girl, I'm down. And then we fell out of contact. I'm like, I was going to do it for the lulz, man. I mean, she was cute. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not, dude? Who knows, man? It could, who's that guy from, I think he's from LA area, the guy, short little guy. Do you ever watch that show? Oh, okay. Yeah, this short little guy with like no neck. He's just like pimping it, man. He was dating some girl from the Philippines, dumped her, and then now he's going with another girl. These shows, they have spinoffs now.
Of course they do.
They got all these spinoffs. It's like they're doing it, man. They're killing it.
And the funny thing is, I wanted the fucking New Zealand passport just in case I got to pop smoke out of the States.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like, you never know if this shit was going to go real sideways, around the election. Like, oh, hey, we got people raiding the fucking Capitol. Shit may go real sideways. Having a way to get out didn't seem like a horrible plan, just in case.
Yeah, man. How are things in Cali right now? Things opening up?
We just reopened indoor dining, which is probably real dumb.
Yeah?
Yeah, like...
Things dumb?
Dude, so many people have been so fucking irresponsible here.
Yeah.
Like, and the motherfuckers who are like, oh, we can go back inside bars, are the irresponsible motherfuckers who have been partying the whole time.
Yeah.
I know you guys were a little more lax, because otherwise Vegas would be a ghost town.
Yeah, they live the tourism. That's the main thing, right? Yeah. And it's indoor dining opened up probably around, I want to say August last year. And it was very, limited, obviously. And you have to make reservations. So I guess we're a little ahead on that part. But yeah, I'm just glad that the comedy club opened up in October. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. You been getting some stage time?
Yeah, since October, man. It was funny. Right before they opened up, I had made a decision. I'm like, I'm not going to keep my hopes up. I'm just going to, if it takes another year, maybe 2 years, it is what it is. It's not that I was quitting comedy, but I was like giving up on, oh, is it open yet? I was like, it is what it is, man. It's not going to be the same unless the club actually opens up. You can't force it.
No.
You can't. What are we gonna do? Comedy on Zoom? Like you
I mean,
know.
in LA, they're hustling. Like, they're doing comedy shows in parking lots. They're doing drive-in comedy shows.
Well, that's actually, yeah, that's dope. You're getting a live audience, which what really depressed me was seeing friends do Zoom comedy. It was just like, oh,
Yeah, and there's still a lot of that going on. Like, and it's
yeah,
weird to see fucking clubs charging for Zoom shows.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I want to see the club survive, but it's also like, come on,
yeah,
you're charging me what your regular cover would be to watch a show on Zoom.
yeah. I saw some clubs do that too. Hey man, but some comics, if that's the way they get paid, that's the way they get paid. But
Yeah, I'm
not
not
a hustle.
I'm not hating on the hustle, but it's
Yeah,
still.
yeah. Just the comedy is just gross.
So, what do you think about the mass exodus to Austin?
I think it's pretty cool. It's nice that I mean Austin was already a hot spot. I had visited about 2 years ago, I want to say, and the comedy scene is great. So now with all these comics moving over there, I'm like, that's great. That's gonna be good. It's just the more spots we have, the better. I think for comics, more places to perform. You know.
I agree, and a couple of my LA comic friends who aren't going to Austin were like, "This is honestly better for the store because
Yeah.
the store was supposed to be a fucking college for comedians, and the
Hmm.
post grads are hanging up, taking most of the stage time pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Now that a
Yeah.
lot of those guys are in Austin now, the undergrads can take the stage again.
Yeah, dude. I heard that too because when the comedy store boom happened, when Rogan came back and Joey Diaz, so did the celebrity comics and the ones that were trying to develop or whatnot. They didn't have, they were getting stage time, like let's say a Jeremiah Watkins, but not as much. And now I'm thinking, okay, Jeremiah's going to go up way more now, more spots. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, hopefully post-pandemic we'll see you up on the stage at the store.
Yeah, man, I could go over there and bomb again. Last time I did the store at the original room, I ate dick. It was crazy. My friend Aiko Tanaka got me a spot, and I've done the belly room. That one went okay, wasn't too bad. But what they say about the comedy store is the toughest room in America. It's no joke. It really is.
Oh,
You
and
got to bring it.
100%. And also, I think post Rogan boom, it's become a harder fucking room because you got a lot of people that are just fucking tourists to LA going to the store
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like, these people aren't necessarily comedy fans. They aren't necessarily going to the store because they want to go to a comedy club. They're just like, I want to go to the world famous comedy store.
Right. Yep. That's true.
And then you're like, oh, you're not Joe Rogan. Why am I going to laugh at you?
Yeah. 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 I've seen amazing comics bomb there, like big names at the comedy store, and it's true. It's true what they say. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. And one of the things that Vegas has similar to that is that it's obviously a tourist town. So more than I would say 80% of our guests at a show, the audience members, they're all tourists, and they're from all over the world, all over the country. So it's like a cruise ship show, except you could be dirty. That's the difference when it comes to Vegas.
Oh, well, I mean, playing the LA Comedy Club in the Stratosphere, you're probably getting a lot of papered rooms, too.
Yeah, before the pandemic, yes. Yeah, there's all the clubs in Vegas had that. There's actually this thing called hot seat or something. It's the membership you pay, and you go on there daily, and you can see what open tickets for each comedy club, Circus Soleil, whatever. And dude, now that they reopened, because not everything else is open yet, the clubs are selling out 100% of their ticket sales. So that's a nice thing because one, it gives value to the show. So now you don't have people going in there for free, just fucking thinking, oh, I'm just gonna not pay attention or heckle or whatever. It's like you got people paying customers. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. We'll see how long that lasts.
Hopefully it lasts.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, right now first it was 25% occupancy, 35, and I think we're at 50 now. So that means that the bigger shows are going to start opening: Copperfield, Carrot Top, Circus Soleil. So we're going to have that competition again.
Yeah, but I think people that want to come see you, like, they're not worried about fucking Cirque du Soleil. They're like, I'm here for a comedy show.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what you have. You have some people there just for comedy, which is great. The shows have been fucking awesome. They've been really cool. And we've had a silent, what'd you call it earlier? Exodus to Austin.
Yeah.
We've had a silent one here. Like people come in here to move. Like a lot of features and hard hitter headliners have been moving to Vegas.
Can you name any names? Who else rolled through?
Brent Ernst is one of them.
Cobra Kai fame.
Yeah, I just had him on my podcast, and that was awesome. Michael Yo is one of them.
Nice.
And Carlos Rodriguez. They're just other killers that have not been up there in the like mainstream. You see, like there's this guy named Big Irish J. He's bigger than Big J Okerson. He's like he's huge. He's literally Big Irish J. He's like 6'5" or something. Yeah, there's these killers that are just moving out here. And I don't know, man. It's like a sleeping giant, I think, in Vegas that we're gonna have like this resurgence. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Hell yeah! You think they're gonna eventually open some more like off-strip clubs, like that are just more for locals and shit like that will hopefully get some business?
Yeah, one of them opened up. This one club called Extreme Comedy Club, and it's like off of the strip. It's
nice.
Like even past the airport, and it's just like in a shopping center. I'm like a business strip. I'm like, damn, this is pretty cool because you don't really see that in Vegas. Usually in Vegas, you got to have the comedy clubs right on the strip, like the Comedy Cellar at the Rio. I don't think that one's going to open up because the Rio, I think, is not opening up or it's going to get sold, something like that.
Oh, no, man. I missed that buffet.
That buffet was killer, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was. I love that buffet.
Yeah,
buffets aren't back yet.
Oh, well. Buffets probably should hold off a hot minute before they come back. Like, yeah. Do you really want nasty motherfucking tourists? Like, I'm fucking reaching into your shit. Nah, man, that's super spreader waiting to happen.
Sharing the spoon. I think that's going to be one buffet open up at the South Point Casino where they serve you now. You just point like,
yeah, but you're still going to be like standing in like the cafe line next to motherfuckers. Yeah. Like that shit ain't safe.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to be right next to people. Yeah. It's not as safe as you would want it to be like back in the day. No. Unless you got the fucking vaccine. Are you getting the vaccine?
I got my appointment for the 30th for my first shot.
Oh, nice. I just got my second one last week.
Nice, because you are essential, sir.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to fucking cough on me. I don't give a fuck.
Right? I can't wait till I get my second shot. Back to raw dogging people in bathrooms.
Yeah.
Like, we just met at this bar. Like, I barely know your name. Yeah, let's do it.
Just in the back, you banged a chick in the bathroom before?
Oh yeah, haven't you?
Public restroom? No, I've jerked off in a public restroom, but no, I was a Christian, good old Christian boy. I never had the opportunity to, Well,
maybe treat you and the wife out to a special night. Do her in a bathroom.
Just take my wife to hey babe, I'm gonna treat you tonight. We're gonna go get some steak and meet me in the bathroom.
You just gotta play it right. You'd be like, oh my god, babe, you look so great right now. I want you so bad right now. I can't wait till we get home. Come on, let's go.
Just fucking two girls fucking get arrested and shit, leaving handcuffs.
Come on, that could only help your comedy career.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should try that.
Comedian Freddy Correa, arrested in fucking South Point having sex in a bathroom.
Yeah. The buffet, the bathroom inside the buffet. That'll work out.
Oh.
Yeah.
You just gotta, roll into
one. You've done that though, huh?
Yeah.
You just fucking. So what? You just you're at a bar, you're chilling, and you're talking. Next thing you know, you tell her to meet you. How does it work out? Like, do you tell her to wait for you in there, or you pull her in there with you?
Last time it happened, it was a small little cocktail bar in Hollywood, and I don't even really remember how it happened, but it was just kind of she said she lost something in the bathroom, and these are two bathrooms you can lock. It's not like a men's room, ladies' room. It's just two unisex bathrooms You can lock.
Oh
She's
yeah,
like,
with the deadbolt.
yeah.
Yeah, those are the best.
And she's like, I lost something in the bathroom. I'm like, I'll help you find it. And then the minute we were in there, locked door and going at it.
Oh wow. So it was like one of those the family restrooms with the deadbolt. It has the diaper changer and everything.
I mean, this is a little dive bar. There's no.
Oh, dive bar. Okay.
Yeah, there's no. Oh, come on. I'm not having sex in bathrooms in classy establishments. Like, when you think I'm taking someone to Red Lobster and having sex in their bathroom? Come on, man. I'm not going to disgrace the Cheddar Bay biscuits like that.
So when you're ready to get out, do you get out at the same time or one at a time?
And same time, man. The damage is done. What, they're going to kick us out?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, nice. See, I'm just over here living vicariously, just asking all these questions.
Like, do you want me to talk to your wife for you? Like, do you want me to try to make this happen for you? Like, I feel like you should experience it, man.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should. Yeah. Spice it up.
Help your career.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as bad press. You can come back out here like, yeah, Matt, that was exhilarating.
Where's some other crazy spots you've done like in public?
Oh, well, I had sex in a cabana at fucking Rumor across the street from the Hard Rock.
Ah, yeah, I know that little boutique hotel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Had sex in a cabana there.
Right in a cabana. So, yeah, you could close the curtains on there, but
Yeah.
yeah, you had your privacy. Nice. Wow.
Yeah, that was during AVN 2014.
Porn star?
No.
No. Whoa.
So Rumor, like, during the AVNs back in those days, was like the home of where the swinger parties were.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
And me and a couple friends rolled through to the swingers party during the AVN, like, awards. Mostly just take their alcohol. Because, like, if you've been to a swingers party in real life, generally it's not the best looking people in the world. And we're also not rolling through with any women on our end, so it's not like we're there to swing. We're just like, oh, they have an open bar? We got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
And we're just chilling poolside. And these three girls my guy had met some point during the convention who were just like, we're at AVN, it's cool. Come start partying with us. And like one of them just kind of plops down on top of me and like is dry humping me. I'm like, all right, whatevs. And her friend's like, she hasn't gotten laid on this trip. I'm like, I can help with that. And I literally like pick her ass up and we walk over to the cabana and just like close the curtain and go at it.
Wow. What was it like what out of 10? What would you give her?
She's a little older, but like body was like a solid 9.
Oh, okay.
It was real tight, like body. She was definitely like real hot when she was younger.
Yeah.
So this is what, like 7 years ago? She had to be in her 40s like 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. You think she was married?
Don't know, don't care.
Yeah.
But she did mention she had a 21-year-old daughter, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, while I'm doing it, I'm kind of like, man, I wonder what the daughter looks like. And then, oh no, there's a little more to the story.
Oh yeah.
My audience has heard this. I'm sure they have. But, trying to finish in a cabana is not exactly comfortable. So she was staying at Rumor. I'm like, why don't we go up to your room and finish up? She's like, oh, okay. So she puts her panties back on. Like, that's it. We roll through Rumor with like her just in her underwear. Get up to the room. And when we get into the room, there's another couple in the bed.
Whoa.
And like, she just gets naked and jumps into bed with them. I'm like, I sit down on the couch. I'm like, oh shit, what have I got myself into?
Whoa. Yeah.
Fuck. What have I, like, and the people in bed are like typical swingers. They are not attractive people. Like, what have I gotten myself into? And she's like, Matt, are you not getting into bed? I'm like, fuck it, I'm already here.
Yeah.
So
you jumped in.
Yeah, we jumped in. Like the four of us just kind of hung out, and like then she started blowing me in front of them. And then she's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, I'll follow you in there. So we went and banged it out and finished up in the bathroom. And like, probably within 2 minutes of me popping, I was out the door.
Oh yeah. Did you feel kind of gross?
No, it was just not like, I don't know where this is going, and like,
oh,
I never even got her name.
Oh yeah. Damn.
I never, like, she I guess was a Viking super fan, like had trading cards of her dressed up as a Valkyrie. But I never got her name. I never fucking got her name.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's the way you do it.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
And then I almost got married later that night, so to someone else.
Damn, almost got married to someone you just met?
To a girl I partied with a couple times. My audience has definitely heard this part of the story. So, after I finished up with Valkyrie, I went and met up with my guy who was staying at the Red Roof Inn across the street from the Hard Rock, because, like, during AVN, staying at Hard Rock can be a little pricey. Mm-hmm. We ate some pizza. I'm just like, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
That we then called up this one girl who was a performer. She was a performer who was ditching the award show. Met up with her at Planet Hollywood. Started fucking really pounding him back, and she just went, "This is my first trip to Vegas. I should have a quickie wedding."
Huh.
I went, "All right, I'm in." And then we proceeded to, like, PDA all over Planet Hollywood's floor. Like, we lost all our friends because they were just sick of us, like, making out at slot machines.
Wow.
Then things get a little hazy. I woke up the next morning with her wearing a Pokemon onesie with no crotch. We went and got the marriage license. And the only reason we didn't end up getting married was the Kiss Chapel was not readily available. Like, in the delay of waiting for the Kiss Chapel, we both sobered up enough to be like, To be fair, she actually left me at the altar via text. She's like, "Yo, I don't feel like you're super into this. Like, let's just not do it." I'm like, "All right, cool." But yeah, I still have the marriage certificate.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got the license.
Oh, yeah.
So when is it when it's official? It needs to be signed, I guess?
It has to be signed, and you actually have to have someone perform the ceremony.
By an ordained...
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we got the license and fucking everything.
Wow. So if you got the license and you didn't really do the... So is that what they call nulled, or was it?
No, nulled is like you officially get married, but then, like, you just go, just kidding. Technically, you can get in an old, like, if you got married because of coercion, or you weren't in your right mind, or you hadn't consummated the marriage.
Like Britney Spears when she did her thing, and
right, with her
next day.
Yeah. And one of my favorite parts about that whole thing was while we're drunkenly messing around and agreeing to get married, like, I am trying to get a prenup done. One of my lawyer friends who is an adult entertainment lawyer is like, "I don't do family law, man. You're on your own there." Like, how do you do porn law and not do family law? People get married crazy all the time in this biz.
I like how you were trying to be responsible and think, I also need a prenup, though. I can't just get married.
Dude, I had a little bit of money to my name at that point, and I was trying to hold on to it fucking tight.
Yeah. Smart man.
I hit up my guy, the party lawyer back in Chicago, who's my guy, and he doesn't fucking answer. And I'm like, how the fuck is the party lawyer not answering? He would do my prenup in a heartbeat. Turns out the party lawyer was in rehab when I was trying to get this done.
Wow.
Nothing like your lawyer being in rehab saying, "You make responsible life choices."
Yeah. So you never got to bang her?
Oh, I banged her. Oh,
you banged her?
Oh, yeah.
That same day?
Yeah, before we got the license. So, as I said, I woke up in the morning to her wearing a Pokemon onesie with no crotch. Oh, yeah. No.
You ended up having some fornication sex.
Oh, yeah. There was definitely some...
You weren't married.
There was definitely some fornication, and she actually gave me some shit. She's just like, I kind of wanted to do more, but you were kind of like, kind of lazy there. I'm like, I'm super sorry. I'd fucked somebody else like a couple hours earlier.
Yeah, you're fucking in a cabana. Then you jumped in bed, and
then had sex in the bathroom in that hotel room. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, you're my second partner today. Like, I'm not a porn star. I kind of phoned it in with us. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was a lot of fornicating that day.
It was. Just dumb happenstance.
I remember one time in the bathroom stall, I was a PBX operator at Silver Legacy at this casino. And I used to have this special restroom. I used to go and, just pop one off real quick and then go back to answering phones. And I would always use this restroom because it was always quiet. So I knew I could just like get one in, boom, It was back with the flip phones. I would like open my flip phone and I would go to Google, like just Google images of just tits, So I remember one time I'm at the urinal and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna go right here. Fuck it. So I start, trying to pleasure myself. Next thing you know, I'm like, nah, I need to be responsible. I need to go inside the stall and close the door. What if somebody walks in?
Yeah, don't be a pervert, man. Come on.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. But here's the thing: I was already, up, erected, and I'm like, I'm just gonna walk in there with my wiener out. So I don't know what I was thinking, dude. I think I was like 20 or 19 years old. I walk from the urinal and I'm walking towards the stall, and then all of a sudden I hear the door open. And I'm like, no, and I just fucking ran with my dick out. And a guy that walks in, he sees me running, and I fucking slam the door, and then I lock in, and it was this dude at the front desk, because it was a special restroom. I'm telling you, it was always quiet, but only PBX operators would use it. Maybe the front desk one day. Front desk guy showed up, and it was this gay dude. And at the time, I was like, I used to be pretty hardcore Christian, very religious, and homophobic. So I remember thinking, I'm like, God's punishing me with a gay dude walking in on me while I'm jerking off. Because the dude's like, oh, I've never seen somebody run into a restroom that fast. Like I think he knew what was happening.
Either that or he thought you had the shits.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's possible. And but I remember I thought God was punishing me. I was like, I think God's gonna make me start having feelings for men. I don't know. I was like, God's gonna punish. I started asking God for forgiveness.
I mean, did you ask God for forgiveness before or after you finished?
It was before. Yeah, before, because while the gay guy was in there, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna tell me. He probably saw my wiener. I don't know. And I thought I was gonna get fired. I'm all like praying to God and everything. And then he leaves, and I go back to business, taking care of business.
How often were you jerking off at work?
Oh, probably 10 times a day, dude. It was a lot. I was like, yeah, man, it was boring. All I did was sit there with headphones and a headset and just answer the phone. Calls would come in. You just hit a button. Where do you want to go? I would send them here. It was the most, such a boring job, dude. So anytime I was able to get up and have a break, I was working with a smoker. You know how smokers take a lot of breaks?
Yeah.
So fuck it. I'm going to take breaks, mental breaks, or whatever. And yeah.
Breaks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got me there. I have never jerked off at work.
Oh no.
No. But again, I can't remember the last job I had where I was indoors. I haven't worked in an office or anything since 1999, 2000.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess technically these days I jerk off at work a lot because I just content create at home.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't count. I'm jerking off in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah. Unless you're in a Zoom meeting or something.
Nah. I'm real big on trying to keep my dick private for whatever silly reason. My dick, I've never taken a nude. My dick is not on the internet.
Yeah, I've never taken a picture of my dick. Never. I've never even pointed a camera at my dick.
Yeah, me neither.
I've never done that. Yeah.
I understand the consequences of it. If I take a picture of my dick, it is there for fucking ever. I could delete this. I could burn this camera. I could eat this SD card. That picture exists on the internet.
Yeah, it's going to exist. The cloud, whatever. Yeah. Have you seen the stories that have come out since the lockdown of people getting caught masturbating on Zoom?
Oh yeah, didn't some fucking famous anchor just get caught not too long ago?
Yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about. And then recently, a teacher. As soon as this meeting was over in his classroom, he thought the camera was off, and he starts taking off his belt, his pants. Oh my God, yeah. And his defense was, I thought I had hit end on the meeting, because he's in the privacy of his own home. Why not?
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. on one hand, I totally agree. Like, he's in the privacy of his own home. But, like, if a kid
Right.
saw his dick, yeah, he deserves to get
Yeah.
fired.
Oh, 100%. It's like, come on, dude. How stupid are you? Close the fucking lid of the camera, you know, the laptop.
Yeah.
Just, are you going to use the same laptop for your porn? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I do not know. I don't know how anyone would be like, oh, I thought I ended that Zoom meeting. Like, it's real obvious when the Zoom meeting is still up. Real obvious.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
And like, that anchor dude was like in the middle of an actual meeting. Like, it wasn't like it was over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've been doing content creating from home now. So what, man? So what do you do to get out? Do you get out at all to walk around? I don't know. Get some vitamin D? No.
Pills.
Really?
Pills for vitamin D.
Pills for vitamin D. Do you do any grocery shopping? You do it all?
No, I do. Like, so at the beginning of the pandemic, I was definitely doing like remote shopping, and then like, fuck Instacart. They fucked up like every order but one.
Yeah,
Seriously.
they do.
And they fucking marked that shit up insane.
Uh-huh.
So fuck yeah, I it was like when I was getting a plus $600 a week stimmy, I'm like, yeah, I could but Instacart be safe and let Instacart do my shit. And then it was like, oh no, that dried up. Gotta go out into the world, and like I go out into the world like a couple times a month. I've gone out for like outdoor drinks here and there, but like otherwise, yeah, I don't leave my fucking apartment. I was not a skinny dude when we met, but I have definitely gotten fatter.
Yeah, I gained quite a few pounds. Yeah, and
haven't you been working like through all of this?
Yeah, I've been working my day job. I still work, but it's like my mentality was like mentally I was locked down because I was eating like shit, drinking, and yeah. So I just recently now started like trying to eat healthy and eating, or hitting the gym too, and so that's just of recent, like this past month.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was getting too fat. Dude. I bending down to tie my shoelaces, not being able to breathe. I'm like, oh no, I need to fucking do something.
I might be there. Like, my building has a gym, but they're reopening it April 1st, and I'm like, once I had that second shot, and like, because I live in Hollywood, and these ignorant motherfuckers like aren't wearing masks. Like, I had a fucking bullshit fucking EDM DJ music producer who lives below me, like who's throwing parties still. So,
oh wow, yeah.
So like, once I'm vaccinated, I'm gonna start making use of the gym in the building again. But till that point, I'm like, I don't feel super comfortable like being in there.
Yeah. So you're pretty careful then, huh?
Yeah.
From the sound of it, like, yeah, you're pretty careful. Like, you try not to.
Yeah,
angle.
I have made a couple poor choices, mostly due to vagina over the course of the last year. Like, I have hung out with maybe like 5 girls over the course of the last year, like on individual, but the majority of them were performers who had like 24 to 48 hour tests for COVID. And my roommate's been in fucking New York since August. And the way I look at it is, if I do get sick, like, it's fucking dumb if I do, but if I get sick, I'm not negatively affecting anyone else. Like, I have no elderly family members around me. I'm not even sharing my living space with anyone else. Yeah. So it's a calculated risk because, I'm a piece of shit sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm not out partying or anything like that. Like, you haven't been, right? Like,
somewhat. I'm very careful. I guess everybody's definition of careful would be like, I mean, I'm going to the club, but I'm wearing my fucking mask, and I've said this on my podcast. I think it's stupid. I hate it because it makes my fucking face itch, my beard, and I'm stupid because it's just me. I'm just being a fucking big kid. I don't like it. I just fucking hate it. But the benefits of it's fucking great. I haven't even got the regular flu. You see? So it's like, for people to say it doesn't work, then I don't know. I guess, how did I not get sick? So I do think it works. I just fucking hate it. But yeah, I'm careful with it. Like, I'm wearing it at the club. I'm always wearing it in my day job, in public. So yeah, I'm careful, but have I been super careful as far as not partying? I mean, I've hung out with friends, watched some UFC fights, been pretty close to each other without a mask. So Like, I don't know. Maybe I just got lucky. I don't know.
The way I looked at it, like the couple friends I've hung out with, like it's all been like kind of verbally interrogating, like, so what have you been up to for the last couple of weeks? Oh, you've been hanging out with a bunch of people? I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
you like me haven't left your apartment in a couple weeks? Yeah, we can hang out. Like, we can hang out one on one. Like, I feel
Right.
like shit. Like, one of my guys' birthdays was in January, and he's like, "Yeah, we're only having like 5 people over to watch the fights." I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm not
Yeah.
coming to hang with 5 people like that I don't know.
Yeah. It's almost like we're in different, how would you say, different timelines, because I've been there, but I'm not there anymore. The 5 people, like to me, 10, 15 people doesn't bother me. So it's like, to me, I was there in the beginning, like in July. Oh, you guys want to watch the fireworks? Who's hanging out? How many people? Who you guys been hanging out? Asking questions. But like now, it's like we're like in different stages, because over here we've been open up for so much longer. Also, I'll tell you, like, for example, remember the first month we shut down, the whole country shut down in March 17th or something.
Yeah.
I think it was St. Patty's Day. Everybody shut down on a Tuesday, I think. And everybody's freaked out. Everything was closed. There was no traffic. It was like the end of the world. The strip was shut down. I was still out there working and doing my day job. And so I had to be exposed. I was doing the whole being careful with grabbing doorknobs with tissue, or wearing a gloves. You couldn't find gloves anywhere. So I was like wearing like work gloves.
Well, and this is the point where like they were telling us, oh, you guys don't need masks. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it was at the point where it's on surfaces for 9 or 8 days, something like that.
Yeah.
So we were being super careful. I was like, bro, I had a little bit of I made my own hand sanitizer when I would go buy some drive-through or something, or use my ATM card or credit card. I would clean my ATM card with alcohol and hand sanitizer. So I went through all that in the first month or so. Then they start opening up the world again a little bit. I was already at a different stage, and people are barely leaving their homes. Now they're doing what I was doing a month earlier, you see? So it's like, I've been fucking licking, what I'm trying to say, I've been licking doorknobs for the past, I don't give a fuck.
Fair enough. Hey, but also, Vegas doesn't have LA's fucking numbers. LA's numbers have been astronomical. Like, we were the leader in the fucking country for COVID at one point.
Really? Damn.
So it's just like, nah, I'm cool. I'm not fucking around. Like,
yeah.
Y'all being irresponsible. And it's just like, yeah, I want to fucking see people. I want to do that shit, but it's ain't worth dying over.
Another reason I like wearing my mask is, or not that I like it, but another reason I do it also is because I don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable.
100, like, that has been my argument about people wearing masks. Like, even if you don't believe in fucking masks, don't be an asshole. Wear the fucking mask so you don't make other people around you uncomfortable. Like, it's just a societal thing. Oh, you're impeding on my freedoms. Like, fuck you, motherfucker. Just put on the mask. If they don't work, you're making other people around you feel comfortable. If they do work, you're protecting people's fucking lives. What fucking world do you live in where you're like, nah, brah. You're impeding on my freedoms. Fuck everyone else around me.
Yeah.
Fuck
Have you seen those fights? Have you seen those fights in stores, like people arguing?
Dude, it has taken, like, I know I've gotten older and more responsible because it's taken every fiber of my beating a couple times to be like, yo, motherfucker, over your goddamn nose.
Yeah. I've seen fights. I've seen people argue. Shit that you normally would see online. I've been seeing it, in stores.
Have you screamed out World Star at people and filmed that shit?
I haven't filmed it. I should have filmed this. There was one at Walmart just probably like 2 weeks ago. Older lady yelling at a couple with a kid because the kid wasn't wearing a mask. The kid was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. They were at the pharmacy at Walmart, and they were just at a yelling match. She was saying, you need to have the kid wear a mask. And the guy was like, no, he doesn't. And it was just I almost busted out my camera, and it would have been funny to record it, but yeah.
Like, I'm definitely not looking to get confrontational with people in fucking Vegas. People in Vegas have guns. A lot of guns. Like,
yeah, there's guns. Yeah.
I know when I lived there, I was concealed carrying all the fucking time.
Yeah. It's not as crazy as I would say Texas. But yeah. And the thing about Texas is that, they're the only state, I think, that lift the whole mandate with the mask.
They did, but the thing about it is a lot of local ordinances are still fucking enforcing it. Like
For sure.
Statewide, like, oh yeah, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Cities are like, bro, shit, put the fucking mask back on, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. Private places, you still, like, there was a lady just got fucking pretty much taken down by a cop in Galveston, Texas. That was just recently a viral video. Fucking, she was refusing to wear a mask, and the cop told her, you're gonna have to leave, and she was refusing to. He tackled her down. She ended up with a broken foot, poor lady. But hey, it's like, if you want to do it in public or wherever it's allowed, do it then. But not if it's a private place like a bank. They have the right to tell you what you need to do behind those doors.
100%.
So,
and as I said earlier, just don't be an asshole. Like, put on the fucking mask. It sucks. I fucking hate them. But I don't want to be a fucking asshole because I want to live in fucking society.
Right. Yeah. And well, ever since Texas lifted that, I feel, because they're such a big state and very influential in the country, that other people are now taking the liberty to just walk around without them now. I think people are getting that COVID fatigue, is what they call it, where they're just over it. And goddamn, we've been a year into it now.
Well, yeah, if we weren't such assholes in the first place, we probably would have been done with it already.
Yeah.
But motherfuckers are like, day one, like, oh, there's no need to wear a mask. Why didn't they tell us to wear a mask in the first place? Because we're irresponsible children here in America. We hoarded toilet paper when diarrhea is a potential side effect. Do you think if they told us that we had to wear a mask in the first place, there would have been a mask anywhere to be found for people that are on the fucking front lines? No. Because we're fucking irresponsible children here in America.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the people that was hoarding everything. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. So crazy.
Are you fucking kidding me with this shit? Like, the toilet paper still to this day blows my mind. It's like, motherfucker, you're locked at home. If you have a poopy butthole, take a shower. You're at home.
Yeah. I'm so glad I've been a bidet owner for the last 3 years or so. That didn't affect me at all. My ass is still cleaner than the rest of America.
I really wish I could have been like, this episode of it Now We Drink brought to you by My Tushy or some shit like right now. The perfect timing on that shit.
Yeah. Even those, when people start waking up thinking like, oh yeah, I should probably get myself a bidet. Even those started going out, out of stock. But
they did last year. Like My Tushy was out of stock. And like, have you ever had the chance to use like a real Japanese shower toilet, like the ones that are made in Japan?
Last month, yeah, I went to a sushi. Like an expensive one. Yeah, it was nice. It was a toilet that fucking, as soon as I walked in the door, the seat lifted up. It had lights in it.
Yeah,
it had
like
a little panel on the right.
You could choose the type of spray, the temperature, how it's on. Like, oh shit, I'm water picking my asshole. This is amazing. Like,
yeah, warm. It was nice and warm.
Yeah, the seat's warm. Like, that threw me off when I was in Japan the first time I sat down. I'm like, why is the seat warm? Oh, that's a function, not just that someone was just on this.
Yeah. It's a function. I never sat on a warm seat. So you did that in Japan? You went to Japan?
I've been to Tokyo twice.
Oh, nice.
It's my fucking happy place, man. I love Tokyo.
Oh, yeah. Like Tokyo. It always seems like a futuristic city, Everything's so advanced over there.
Yes and no. Everything's so advanced, and there's a lot of backward shit. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, like, if you have visible tattoos in Japan, it's still considered like criminal connotation. Me and my tattoo artist got kicked out of a bunch of places. Sorry to my audience that has heard this a bunch of fucking times. But it's a wild place. Like, it's just, you'd think like, oh, as high tech as Japan is, they're super cash heavy. A lot of places don't take cards at all.
Oh, wow.
But it's also really interesting. Like, it's rude to in most places. It's rude to actually hand someone cash. They have little trays, so you put the cash on the tray, then they pick up the tray and then count it.
Oh, okay.
It's just so wildly different than the States. I love it so fucking much there.
There's a lot of like save face type of thing. Like honor and shit like that.
Well, honor and just like they may be racist as fuck to you at times, but they are super polite about it.
Oh, okay.
Like when we got kicked out of these restaurants, like they were so polite about it. We were like, "Oh, we did something wrong. My bad. My bad. My bad. But we'll go somewhere else." But it was still like, oh, it's an amazing place. Like I recommend to anyone who's got an open mind, go.
Mm-hmm. And did you eat sushi? Of course.
Of course, I had blowfish, man.
You had blowfish. Wow.
Yeah.
Sashimi, mostly sashimi is in Japan. I would say like sashimi is like the real sushi stuff.
I mean,
like
there's definitely nigiri happening too.
Yeah. Okay.
Not nearly as many rolls, but like a lot of sashimi, a lot of nigiri.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the real shit right there.
Dude.
Yeah, because over here they get us with the whole rolls and
the California roll. Like, fuck that garbage. Fuck that garbage. Or like the baked roll. Like, nah.
Yeah, they don't have that in Japan, right? The baked rolls. Yeah.
Nah. Hell, we were at one spot in, I gotta say, Shibuya, where like they're literally reaching into tanks in the restaurant and cutting up the fish.
Whoa. Damn.
It's like, oh, damn.
That's crazy.
That is actually my number one spot I want to go to. Like, once it's safe to travel again, I want to go back to Japan. Where do you want to go, man? Like, where does Freddy want to go when it's safe to go?
Well, in the States, I definitely want to go back to New York City. Yeah.
They announced Skankfest.
Happens.
They announced the Skankfest, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they haven't announced the exact dates, but since I got tickets for the Houston, we could use those tickets for New York in July if they approve it. Who knows how it would be? I don't think it's going to be that great like when you and me met over there.
Well, the Creek in the Cave's gone.
Yeah, that's gone. And I don't think they're using the Brooklyn Bazaar because they after Louis C.K. showed up the
following year,
they talked some shit, and then they, Jay and Louis, they didn't like that, so they're like, fuck this place,
But it's New York City, man. They'll find other venues.
They'll find another venue, yeah. But we'll see how it goes. I just want to go back out there, an excuse to go back to New York and get to see more places because it's such a beautiful place that like you can't really see that much. And we went there for 8 days last time, and you couldn't even see it all.
Well,
not even scratch the surface.
That Skankfest that we met in 2017. That was 2017, right?
18.
Was it 18? Okay, it was one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I didn't go in 19. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, when we went in 18, like that was a fucking amazing show all the fuck around.
Yeah. Yeah. You and me teamed up, and we were just hitting up all the going upstairs, downstairs, all over, just catching different shows. We're like drinking buddies.
Oh yeah, it was a fucking blast. It's like, hey, because we met on like the opening night at Creek in the Cave, and then it just went from there.
It was at the at the kickoff party.
Yeah, the kickoff party. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Did you see me perform that night?
No, I couldn't get inside.
Okay, good. That because I've been telling that story on my podcast quite a bit. The first night of me bombing. It was a horrible set. It was garbage, and but the next year I redeemed myself. Yeah. Yeah,
I remember you telling me that you bombed, but I didn't actually get to see it.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, because I met other people I became friends with on Twitter and Instagram from that night. Because everybody was like, "Oh, it wasn't so bad." People left to go go see the podcast upstairs. So there, like, it was a packed room when the show started, and Big J put me up. But when I went up, right before I went up, the guy that was performing, people literally were standing up, leaving, like if he was walking the room. But no, they were just going upstairs because Legion Skanks was about to record their podcast. So our little room downstairs got emptied, but still ate shit big time. I started panicking, and it was horrible. It was a good bomb. It was a really good bomb.
I mean, if you're gonna bomb, it's a good stage to do it on. At least it's a crowd that'll remember you. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, the one of the worst things about it was that there was a group of friends from Reno that I had not seen in over 10 years. And we didn't plan to see each other. We ran into each other that night. He's like, Freddie, are you Freddie? You used to live in Reno? I'm like, oh, Stacy, like, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell are you doing here? He's like, oh, I listened to the podcast. I listened to Legion of Skanks. I'm like, me too. And then he's like, yeah, man, we're just here chilling, hanging out. It's going to be fun weekend. We're going to watch some comedy. And I'm like, funny you mentioned that because I do comedy now. And I'm like, I'm on this show tonight. And so he's like, oh, okay, well, we'll stick around and watch you. So him and his friends, his wife, they all stuck around and watched me perform. And yeah, it was horrible. The first time they see me perform and I just ate dick. It was so embarrassing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And the funniest part, too, is that the guy before me was eating shit, too. And in my head, I was like, I could get him back. I could win this crowd over. No, not at all.
Sometimes they're too far gone. They're just too far gone at that point.
Bro, I was like the 12th, 13th comedian. It was Steve Renassisi was on it, Big J, Ari Shafir, Kim Connon, just heavy hitters. And then here I go 12 or 13 and woo. Well,
and you're also, trying to get people's attention when like Skanks is actually recording downstairs or upstairs. It's like,
yeah. It was just bad, but it was memorable for sure. Those are the ones you remember, the bad ones.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just how trauma goes. You always remember the trauma. Like good times is kind of like, for the most part, unless it's super epic, just kind of like, oh yeah, that was good. Trauma just sticks right the fuck in your head.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you still got to go up a fucking Skank Fest, which a lot of motherfuckers wish they could say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was fortunate enough. But that's one place I want to go. For sure. I want to hit up Miami, visit my sister, and party it up over there. But we'll see how it goes. But overseas, man, I always wanted to go to Europe. You ever been to Europe?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been to Spain, France, the UK, Finland, Germany, Amsterdam. I think that's it.
Yeah, I got family in England, so I definitely want to go there, and maybe Poland. I got friends in Poland, so yeah. Just I want to, since it's a Europe trip, I would like to do like that whole get on a train, go out there for like at least 2 weeks, so I could be able to travel and explore.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing about it is, like, you can get around Europe, like, 2-hour flights to most other parts of Europe. Like, all of Europe is, like, the size of the United States.
Ah, okay.
Like,
yeah.
Because on one trip, me and my guys stayed in Amsterdam. We bounced over to Munich for Oktoberfest, and that was like an 1.5-hour flight to go to Germany. And then we were in Munich for a couple days, bounced back to Amsterdam. I bounced up to Finland and that was like an 1.5-hour flight.
Wow. Have you been? Was it the Netherlands?
That's where Amsterdam is.
Is that where Amsterdam? Okay, cool. So you've been to the whole red light district and all that?
Oh yeah. And
is it pretty crazy? Like they say, like it's like
the way I look at it is it's Vegas is Europe, or Europe's Vegas. Vegas is Europe. Europe's Vegas. It is Europe's fucking Vegas. It's like, all of Europe comes here to get fucking crazy party. Like, it was cool. Like, Amsterdam is actually like my least favorite place in Europe.
Okay.
Because it's just like a lot of like, you're a Vegas local. You're like, I don't want to be anywhere near the strip unless I'm working, going to a show, or going for a nice meal. Mm-hmm. So the red light district was a lot of that shit. Like, just people like who have apparently never partied in their life before.
Yeah.
Getting stupid. Like, and also, you add in the fact that you can't get food after like 10:30. Bars serve liquor till like 5 a.m. Good luck getting any fucking food after like 10:30.
Nah, that's not cool, man. You gotta have some fish and chips or something on the side.
Right.
Like
I mean, you can find
or something.
You can find fucking French fries. Like, there was a couple nights where, like, leaving the bar at 5 a.m., all I could find was a place that was selling fucking French fries.
Wow. That's not cool.
No, it's super.
Especially a place that's known for weed and everything. It's like, why are you gonna do that to people, man?
Yeah, like, oh hey, well, like all the weed all the weeds in cafes, like they all have baked goods and shit like that. They're like
Yeah.
legit cafes. They're not just like a dispensary that calls itself a cafe. It's like, oh, we serve coffee and pastries and shit like that, and weed. But I don't smoke, and I live in LA.
Yeah.
Even if I did, like, I'm not traveling across the fucking world to like smoke weed.
Wow.
I did do fucking truffles, psychedelic truffles while I was there.
Can you believe some people do that? They just travel out there just to smoke weed. It's like, you do that shit here now.
Well, yeah, but like 10, 15, 20 years ago, when it's like, holy shit, you got to go to Amsterdam. Weed's legal. I totally get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, shit's legal here now, so it's not like that big of a draw. It was still really cool to buy legal fucking shrooms. And like, I don't even know, because they serve them wet instead of drying them out.
Oh.
So I don't even know how much like the weight would have come out to. But it was a good trip. It was like
40.
$40.
Did they just decriminalize that? And where was it? In Colorado?
Colorado and Oregon.
In Oregon, yeah.
And it's supposed to be coming to California soon, too, which would be awesome because, that is one thing I've kind of fallen into this year over 2020, 2021 is like gotten a little bit heavy into psychedelics again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't go out, dude. You just chill at the house.
Well, I think it's
take your own trips.
I think it's the other way around. I don't go out, so I fucking started.
Start doing some ayahuasca and shit.
Oh, in theory, I have a line on a ceremony, and I am waiting. Like, I bugged the girl who told me she had a hookup for a ceremony today. Like, yo, just to put it in your ear, no pressure, but like when that ceremony's happening, remember Matt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they got some. It's been spreading, right? The whole shamans doing the ceremonies and all that. That's pretty cool.
I mean, I want to do it, but I'm also a little nervous about it because, like, some of that shit scams. Like, I wouldn't just be like, yo, Yellow Pages fucking ayahuasca shaman.
Right.
I want to go with someone who knows somebody who's like,
get some references.
Right. You got to have some references. Speaking of weird psychedelic shit, did you hear about Nacho Vidal, the porn star? He's charged in Spain with manslaughter for doing a ceremony with a psychedelic toad where a photographer died from an overdose of the toad.
Oh, no, I did not hear about that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Apparently the incident happened a couple of years ago, but Spain just decided to charge him.
Oh, wow.
And,
I did not hear about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Apparently if you burn and inhale the vapors from this toad, it is like 10 to 15 times stronger than DMT.
Damn. And the guy just fucking, he just passed. He just didn't come back out of the trip. He just choked or something, or
I didn't. There was no details in the article on how he died from it, but he overdosed and fucking died from toad vapor. Like, how do you tell someone's next of kin, like, I'm sorry, Freddy died. He had a little too much toad. My bad. Freddy had a little too much toad.
He was poisoned by a toad.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Fucking we as people, man, we'll find a way to get high. Like, who's the guy who's like, yeah, we're gonna burn toads to get fucking high off the vapors?
Yeah. Yeah. I know, right? Or even the first person to just say, I'm gonna, the one that first tried ayahuasca, for example, you have to mix it with a root of a tree, or the bark. Was the bark and a root of two different trees or something like that?
Well, and there's tobacco involved too.
Yeah, this whole mix. It's like turn it into a tea. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so fucking crazy.
I saw a meme a while back that really made me laugh. It's like the people that were discovering mushrooms, like, that mushroom was delicious and tastes like steak. That mushroom killed my friend. That mushroom made me see God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. And so I was going to ask you, when you have your guests, you've had them come over, or are you doing, because you didn't do Zoom before.
No.
How often do you do Zoom now?
Almost all. Like, I've done, I think, 3 or 4 in-person shows in the last year.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a bad friend, Freddie. I should have had you on a while ago when I started doing Zoom shows. I'm a bad friend.
Cool. I'm glad you put me on, man. No, I'm glad you put me on, though.
But yeah, literally, like, I've had in-person Kate Kennedy, because she's my neighbor, and, well, if I'm gonna get killed, I'll get killed by my neighbor. Rain and Bozio and Crow 13, because those are my two guys, and like they peer pressured me into coming over. Spencer Bradley, but she was on like a 24-hour fucking COVID test for shooting. And Haley House and Luke Henderson, because we were drinking outdoors at a bar, and once we were drunk, the idea of coming back here to keep drinking on my roof happened, and then like, oh, let's do a podcast while we're here. But that is it for like the last year of in-person shows. Like everything else has been on Zoom.
Yeah. You could party in your roof. You could just go up there and party.
Yeah, I have a roof. I live in Hollywood. I have a rooftop deck. Yep.
Oh, wow. Any of your neighbors could just go up there or what?
Yeah, any of the neighbors can go up there.
That's pretty cool. As long as you like keep it clean and you didn't get too crazy.
I mean, relatively clean. I mean, they have someone who cleans it. Like I've left some messes up there.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I live on the top floor too, so like if I get ignorant on top of my unit, whatever, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know where my unit corresponds to the roof, so it's like we'll get ignorant right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. I always seen that, like even like rooftop shows. Sam Morril in New York have put out special just rooftop shows, which is fucking, and it's amazing. I loved it. Yeah. He's one of my favorite comics right now too. Is like him and Mark Norman are just killing it, man. They're out there hustling, just working hard, writing jokes after jokes, you know.
And that's fucking amazing. That like you're able, like, with all that's going on in the world, to like still have that creative juice just to constantly put out fucking new material.
Yeah.
And good new material.
Yeah. And not have to do the whole fucking COVID jokes. That was one of the things I was afraid of in the beginning. I'm like, when the lockdown, I'm like, when we go back, everybody's going to have COVID jokes. And I did my part to just stay away from it. And you do have some of the comics that they think they're coming out with something new. And it's like, no, everybody's done that. Everybody's done the whole mask jokes. It's like, yeah, it's like, but the best thing to do is just, sometimes you have to mention it. You do have to address what happened and all that. But for the most part, man, just do fucking jokes. Funny is funny, man. Just go back to your jokes.
Exactly. Funny is funny. And there's so many other things to joke about.
Yeah.
I'm really of a mixed bag. Like, yeah, because obviously we end up talking about COVID shit all the time on this fucking show.
Yeah.
It's affecting everybody. But I also would prefer not to fucking talk about it, because who wants to tune into this show to be reminded about the thing that is ever present in their fucking life?
Right. Yeah.
But
I get it.
This is also,
but it comes up. We're all going through the same shit, though.
We're all going through the same shit. And like, this show's a real conversation. It's not like, Freddy, what do you got going? Blah, 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 blah. Like, me just asking you fucking questions. This is a real conversation. So the shit comes up. Like, we'll love to get to the point where we don't have to talk about it anymore, where it's just like, but it's also real interesting to like find out where like people want to go, or what band people want to see when they can go see bands again. Yeah.
Well, I think the difference about doing it on stage and doing it, let's say, on a podcast and a conversation, is that when you're performing, when people are going to watch a comedy show, it's like you said, they don't want to hear all this shit about COVID. They see it everywhere. It's thrown in their face on CNN, Fox News, local news. Every day you hear COVID. So when people are trying to see a comedy show, they're trying to escape reality. They're going out there to laugh. They don't want to hear the same, because I see it. I see the professionals, like the headliners that live off of comedy. I've seen some of them kill with their material, and then they start trying to do some COVID shit, and people are turned off. They just don't want to hear it,
I had that same fear with the podcast. I feel like people are coming here for an escape from reality. Like, they want to be distracted. So, like, us talking about our COVID shit may take away from that, but I also don't want to tell someone like, yo, man, we can't talk about COVID, because we're real people having a real conversation. It's a balancing act.
It's a balancing thing. Yeah, it is. Me personally, I find it, like, I listen to a lot of podcasts. When people talk about it on podcasts, it doesn't really bother me. What, like you said, what are we going to make up shit that, like, if it's happening to everybody? But there's a balance, right? you know. And there's also you got to look at the good things of COVID. I think there's a lot of great things that have happened with COVID, as far as like I've been able to save a lot more fucking money, you know, paid off one of my cars,
Hell
you know,
yeah.
it's like, you know, trying to get out of debt and shit. So like, there's a lot of positivity to fucking COVID. Another thing is traveling. If someone is feeling brave enough to travel, that's why I want to go to New York in July if possible, because less people, you know, less people, less lines, better offers, cheaper hotels.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with all that shit. Like, I don't feel. I have some friends that have traveled through this, and I kind of like, on one hand, like, I'm not sure this is the most responsible choice fucking traveling right now, but you do you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, I totally get I could fly to New Orleans for like $45. Fuck. That sounds real tempting. Real
Yeah.
fucking tempting.
Yeah.
But for me, also, one of the positives of COVID is this is like the one time in my life, because of stimulus, unemployment, all that fun shit, where like I don't have to be on like multiple hustles, and I can really just concentrate on being a content creator. Like,
Yeah.
all I do is content create.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what other opportunity in my life am I going to be like, yo, my bills are pretty much taken care of, and I can just create content and
Yeah.
not have to worry about like, oh, I got to go, scrounge up this side hustle to fucking pay my rent this month.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure
Yeah.
sounds like shit to someone who's working a 9 to 5 right now. Like, fuck you, Matt. But is what
But
it
you're
is.
putting out content for them to listen to at work if they're allowed to have headphones on, you know?
Oh yeah. Well,
So,
on top of doing this, I'm also like, I'm Twitch streaming like 4 or 5 days a week.
yeah.
I'm producing multiple YouTube videos like a week at this point.
Yeah.
And that's addition to like, I'm still producing for some other people's podcasts as well. Like, I'm, hope to the point where like, when unemployment and all that shit dries up, that like, I can fully support myself on this shit.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. It's just innovation and people trying new things and putting out different content. Like another positive thing is that some of my favorite comics have teamed up with other people and started doing more podcasts, a new podcast, you know, as opposed to just having the regular good old podcast they had. They're doing other stuff, you know. So I'm like, that's cool, man. More content out there. You how could you be bored if you have like, if somebody listens to a podcast, you have so many choices out there. There's always good content out there.
But also,
So,
how do you discover it? Like,
I bet one of the best ways to discover it is one, cross promote. Like right now, for example. So I have a library of close to 300 episodes with a lot of great guests and a lot of fun episodes of just me and my co-hosts. So cross promotion is one of them. One of the ways I discover a podcast is I just Google, like I go to the podcast search. I like to listen to a lot of either true crime or history podcasts, and I just find new shit all the time. And I don't have to commit myself to listening to every single episode. I just listen to the ones I want, you know?
I mean, that is the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where like podcasting in general is not the most discoverable fucking medium.
Yeah. I mean, but I've had people reach out that they listen overseas, and I'm like, do you follow me on Instagram? Do you like they reach out and they don't even follow me on Instagram, you know? Like I get reviews on the iTunes. I'm like, who the fuck is this person? Like, you know, sometimes I ask, I'm like, because you know how you can see your stats where people are recording from or downloading from, and you're like, who the fuck is listening to Japan? You know? Who the fuck? It's like,
see, for me, like a lot of it's just like I just look at that like, oh, they were definitely here. They were brought here by my guest, like because in a lot of cases, my guests are more famous than I am.
well, the guests, I get it because the guests will bring in some people, but I think most importantly is you staying consistent and putting that content out. Is what keeps them, right?
I 100% agree. I mean, I'm at 250 something episodes in 5 years. Like,
yeah,
I'm one of the most consistent in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's great because having that consistency and having that listenership, I think that's really what, you know, and that's the reason why we do it. Why lie? If we didn't have listeners, why the fuck would we do it?
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't have an audience, you know.
But it's also like, I deal with people who want to start podcasts fairly often.
Yeah.
And you got to have passion for it, even if you don't have listeners.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because unless you're already fucking famous, you're probably not going to have fucking listeners besides your friends and family. And your friends and family ain't going to stick around all that long if, like, they aren't into your bullshit normally.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
So,
yeah.
You got to...
Yeah, and you and me started at the bottom, right? We started at 0.
Yep.
At 0 listeners. Like, you've told some people in here and there, but it's like, I get it, because it's not like we're all, like, fucking out there on Rogan or,
well,
you know.
I tell people all the time, like, when they want to start shows, like, Joe fucking Rogan, the Joe Rogan Experience. Joe was on News Radio, the host of Fear Factor, the voice of the UFC, a touring fucking famous comedian. And the Joe Rogan Experience wasn't the Joe Rogan Experience for 8 years.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
even the first episode, they had like a few live listeners.
Right. Like, it was not the show it is now for 8 fucking years. So you expecting, like, hey, you open micer, you expect to be fucking Rogan in 6 months? It ain't fucking happening. Like, you have a better chance of winning the fucking lottery.
Yeah. Well, people get discouraged by that during the lockdown. A lot of I told people, you put out content, start a podcast, and some people listened to the advice and they did, but they quit after a few episodes because they didn't get the downloads they thought they were going to get. Like, oh, you get 50 likes on a post on Facebook, and you get less than 10 downloads. Like, you got to work hard and keep doing it, keep putting it out there, man. And you know, what's the longest break you ever taken?
1 week.
Podcast. 1 week. Do listeners will start hitting you up, right? Like, where's the fuck's? When's the next episode? You know.
Well, for me, like, I've taken 2 1-week breaks in 5 years, and they're both on the week of my birthday. And also, I really advertised that, like, hey, it's my birthday week. I'm taking the week off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when I say I'm taking the week off, I'm not really taking the week off. I've still pretty much recorded on that week every week.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just haven't put out an episode. I just don't feel like doing post-production work this week.
Yeah. How often do you put them out? What do you think is the best days to put out a podcast?
I have been Thursdays at noon for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
The way I look at it is like, this is not the show for most people that is like the top of their fucking subscribe list. They're like, I figure by Thursday they've gotten through their whatever episodes of Rogan, Marin, Bert, whoever else they're listening to. By about Thursday, they're like, okay, I need something. Oh, hey, new and Now We Drink sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, try to wedge yourself in around Rogan because he just puts them out whenever the fuck he feels like.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But a lot of the other shows were like Monday, Wednesdays were like their big release days.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I've been putting them out on Sunday nights or Monday nights.
Like early Monday morning?
No, like Monday night, like tonight. I'm gonna put up an episode tonight. I was meaning to put it out last night, but I got tied up doing some stuff. But I try to do it early in the week. Works out well for me because in the morning you see people already like either taking, like one of the things my listenership does is something I practice as well is when I'm listening to a podcast, I take a screenshot of the, whether it's audio or on their iPhone app or whatever app they're using, and then put it on your stories or something. Just put it out there. It's free content, so help me advertise. And so I give shout outs to my listeners, and it's like this cool little community of helping each other. And if some of them actually have podcasts as well, I support them. Out of all the podcasts out there, I try to listen to some of them too and do the same thing. Put the screenshots up and put it out there and promote it. Oh, yeah. So without even promoting it myself, sometimes I see the downloads. I'm like, God damn, it's not bad. I didn't even advertise it yet, And those are your true subscribers.
Hell yeah. I on the other hand, like since I do full video, like you see it. I pump out video clips all the fucking time.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I got.
Because you're on Vimeo, right?
Yep. The full versions are on Vimeo, but we have clips on YouTube. I also got I got lazy for about a year here. Like, the last year, because it used to be I'd go back through with the clips and like actually put some fucking window dressing on them. And then like in the last year, it has sped up my workflow to just like cut the clip and then put the clip up.
Yeah.
And in the last like week or so, I'm like, I gotta spend a little more time and like fucking actually window dress the clips a little bit, which I went back to doing. Like, I made in the last couple days a new intro outro for the YouTube clips, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm an editor. I should do this shit, but I'm also a one-man operation, so it's just like, that's expedient and easy, and sometimes
Yeah.
you do what's expedient and easy, but it's not the right thing to fucking do.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a little tougher for guys like us because we don't have like a Jamie or a producer to fucking pump the shit out for us. We're providing the content and we're doing the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's like whenever I get people who are like, I want to start a podcast, I'm like, you sure you really want to do this? Do you really understand what goes into doing this? Like,
yeah.
If you want to hire me to do it for you, I'm happy to take your money.
Yeah.
Because I still do produce for other people. But it's like, if you're looking to just do this, so you do realize that you have to run your social media account. You have to book guests. You have to figure out what you want to talk about. You actually have to do the recording. Then you have to do all the post-production work, and you got to be consistent about it, because you're going to go fucking nowhere if it's like, an episode drops every couple weeks or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What, do you listen to any podcasts?
So I hate to admit this, like, because in the last year, because I haven't been leaving my fucking apartment, my podcast consumption has gone so fucking far down.
Uh-huh.
It used to be when I was like out in the world. Yeah, I was listening to Skanks, Rogan, Bert. Oh, I mean, I still have my fucking subscription list. I mean, a bunch of other smaller shows.
Yeah.
And it's just like, my attention span is for shit these days. And pretty much if I'm awake, if I am not doing something fun, which is rarely, I am literally editing content. Like,
Yeah. Now you're busy.
and I'm busy with stuff that, like, I can't just have a podcast running in the background to be running.
To edit your podcast. No,
Right.
Yeah.
Like today, what I did today was I woke up, I finished an edit for a client, I rendered two YouTube videos, I set up this week's podcast, like I rendered the audio through the plugins and rendered the video for this week's podcast, so I can, the minute we wrap here, I'm going to go edit that, so that's good to go for Thursday.
Wow.
I took a couple calls. I was like, that was my day today. Like, there was no time for like, oh, hey, I'm going to go listen to Skanks. And honestly, in all honesty, I need to get back to it, because I feel like without hearing what other people are doing,
Right.
I may be falling behind on the fucking curve. Like, no one wants to fucking plagiarize anyone, but you definitely want to be inspired by people.
Right. Yeah, and you want to kind of like stay in tune of what's happening out there too. I get that. Yeah. But, well, the reason I was asking is because you brought up people that come up to you and they say they want to start a podcast. And I get the same thing. I get people that will, throughout the years, I created a list of things you need to do, because I started mine back in 2013. And I had so many people hit me up over the years that I decided I'm going to create a list of equipment you need, what software, web host, what kind of podcast host. It's just everything you need for a podcast type of thing. But it's always funny to me how somebody will say they want to start a podcast and then it'll come up in conversation that they don't listen to any podcasts. Have you ever listened to any at all? No, I just want to do one. It's like, how does that work? That's like somebody saying, I want to do stand-up comedy, but you've never listened to stand-up comedy. Like, we get into this because we have a passion for it, because we listen to podcasts and we're like, I want to do that too. But there's people that they've never listened to a podcast. Like, you ask them, what podcast do you listen to? Oh, none. I don't even know how to download. I'm like, so how would you be a good candidate to be a podcast host?
I agree. Why the fuck would you want to do this? Like, did you just hear the word and like, that sounds like something I could do? Here's a great example. Here's a great example about like podcasting. I literally, though I'm behind on my regular listening, when I made my new intros and outros for the YouTube clips, I went and looked at like Rogan. I went and looked at Your Mom's House. I went and looked at a bunch of other podcasts and looked at what they were doing for their intros and outros on their clips.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not looking to steal their content, but I'm like, okay, this is obviously what's working for more successful people. I should at least like do something that's mine.
Yeah.
And how are you going to do this at all if you've never heard a single fucking podcast?
Right. Yeah. It's just somebody that wants to hear themselves talk. That's all. And it's like, nah, what a waste of time. Don't even try to, you can start podcasts. You don't listen to podcasts. Usually when you get into something, it's because you have a passion for that art. Like a movie director. A movie director admires other movie directors. So they're like, I want to make my own movies. That kind of thing. Is like an actor. And a comedian. I've met comics. I've met comics that don't really listen to any comedy, and they don't have. I'm like, and they're usually the worst fucking comics. It's like, it's not even like it's not even out of the open mic realm. They're stuck in that realm of open mic because it's like you're not really a fan of the art. You just think you're a funny dude, and you just
like you've been told by a bunch of people, oh, you're funny, you should do comedy.
Right. Yeah.
So what made you originally want to start podcasting, like in 2013? What?
I got invited by 2 different podcasts in Reno when I started comedy up in Reno, and I saw the kind of equipment they had, the mics, and how casual it was. Because I had heard Rogan and Joey Diaz and all them, and I'm like, this is very simple. I want to start my own podcast because I would always have conversations with friends, like my friend Sammy Solorio, who's also a comic now up in Reno. My buddies Tony, all these friends. When you're in this conversation, you're like, God damn, why are we not recording this? I'm like, I need to start recording these conversations. So in 2013, I did my research. I looked up YouTube videos. There wasn't a lot of information out there yet to do podcasts, but I learned how to upload and put on your thumbnail for iTunes, how to fucking upload it and send it to different places, Stitcher Radio back in the day. And I said, I'm just going to record conversations about religion, UFOs, all the shit I like to talk about already. I'm like, fuck it. And that's what made me want to start it. And then eventually I would mix it up with having guests and friends. And to me, the funnest ones are always the ones where a guest is also like a friend, because sometimes when you have a guest, like a very big comic, the last thing you want to do is start talking about inside stories. They don't want to hear that shit. You got to focus on the guest, right?
Yeah.
You focus on the guest. You have them talk. You ask questions. It's all about the guest. But to me, some of the funnest ones I do are like with my close friends, or even a guest that's not so close, but we could just go back and forth like this right now.
Yeah.
You and me, this is not like, this is just a conversation, and this is awesome. But I've had some guests where they're like, whenever they're not talking, they're looking at their phone, that kind of thing. So isn't that the worst?
That is the fucking worst. And honestly, that is what I love about the medium generally, is the fact that how many times can you have an actual conversation with someone where you're not both looking at your phones? Like, you go out to the bar with your friends, and these are your friends. People are looking at their phones. Podcasting, we get to actually fucking act, and we're not looking at our phones. Like, I picked up my phone once in this whole conversation, turn off my air conditioner so we don't have fucking noise on the mic. That's the only way. I'm here, I'm engaged. You're here, you're engaged.
Yeah.
And that is fucking magical. And it's something that is missing from modern society.
Yeah, it is. It's so true because how many times have you been like even at the Comedy Store having a conversation with somebody and they're just keep looking down at their phone and it's like, oh my god, dude. That's why when we met at Skankfest, it was so cool just chilling with Jason Tebow, you know, and other people just having fucking chain smoking and drinking and nothing. There was none of that looking at your fucking phone. It was all fucking just natural conversations.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's what life should be fucking about. But we are fucking addicted to these fucking things.
Yeah.
So and I'm guilty of it too. I'm fucking like I've definitely been out.
Same here
With plenty of people and like looking at my phone. But that's why I love the fucking medium. That is part of what I love about the fucking medium. And like I will fucking, I don't know about you, but I will call guests if they're like, I'm like, really?
Yeah, I've done it.
Like I will tell people like, yo, hey, make sure your phone's on silent before we start.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to fucking be interrupted by you fucking answering your fucking phone. Like if you don't have time to devote to actually do the show, don't agree to do it.
Yeah.
That may sound harsh, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. And you kind of got to lay it out in the beginning too, because you know some of my, I don't blame them. So there's some guests that you have that don't also, they're not podcast listeners. So it's going to be a little harder to have a conversation because you got to kind of you got to ask more questions because sometimes when you have those guests that they answer a question, there's no follow, there's no like meandering into it, there's no nothing. They just answer a yes and no.
Yeah, well, and my audience can definitely tell when those guests are on because those are the ones where I'm telling a bunch of fucking stories.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yes, well, cool. Then I'm just going to go into some related story because I've had enough fucking life. Like, if you want to just me, okay.
Yeah.
We're
still, just carry the conversation.
Yeah. I'll carry fucking water, but
yeah.
And generally I won't book those people back even if they're a big name. I've had episodes where, like, I'm sure you have too, where it's like, oh, that was a pretty big name. There was a lot of fucking downloads on it, but the conversation was fucking garbage because they were just, It
was a bad lay.
Yeah. Like, I fucked the prom queen and she was a dead fish.
Yeah. Also, how about when you have a guest on and the day of promotion, when it's time to promote, they do no fucking promotion. It's like, really? You're on the podcast. The whole point is that you're going to promote my show because you were on it because I'm promoting your shit.
Right.
So what makes you think that it's cool that I'm going to promote your shit on an 2-hour-long podcast? All my listeners are going to go and follow you now on your social media, but you don't have the decency to fucking share this episode?
Yeah. Hit the retweet button. One fucking button.
Yeah.
Oh, I literally had a pretty big porn star on not too long ago who literally hit me up to do the show. Like, came to me to do the show.
Yeah.
And when we were wrapping, I'm like, oh, it's going to drop in like a couple weeks. I was like, awesome, I'll promote. Zero promotion. Text her like, hey, it's out. Zero promotion. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't care who you are at this point. Like,
yeah,
you're not going to promote. I'm just not going to book you again.
Yeah. I've had comics go on the show, and the week the episode drops, they delete their Facebook because of some drama. I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck about your drama, dude? You're on my podcast. You're supposed to be advertising this shit.
Right.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I've had Felipe Esparza was one of the biggest names I had on the podcast. This is like back in a year after I started, like 2014. And he was amazing, dude. The listenership that I got through Felipe, this is before Felipe had his own podcast. He was on mine. He even says that he's brought it up before that I was one of the first podcasts he ever did. And yeah, it's like there wasn't a lot of like Latino hosts out there yet. And it makes me so happy to see so many Latino podcasts out there now. You know, it's amazing. And it's funny that I'm saying that right now, because if it was a white person saying, it's so cool, that there's more white podcast hosts. So, that's not cool. But because I'm Latino, I could say that, right? It's like such a double standard. It's fucked up.
Is what it is. Is what it fucking is. It's just how it is. Like,
I was the first Mexican Jew, though. I'll tell you that. Boom. First Mexican Jew podcast host, comedian.
There you go. When you add in all three, definitely the first.
Yeah.
But that's just that, and that's amazing.
I mean, look at that Jew face behind me. Look at that.
I've definitely made that face before.
For listenership, I have my background is my logo. It's just a picture of me, like, I don't know, like a coming face, or I don't know.
Like he had just left the fucking stall.
Yeah. Gay dude just walked in.
Yep.
I feel defeated. I feel like God's gonna turn me gay. Yeah. Which comics? I think I asked you this before, but which comics have you had on your podcast before?
Well, I've had Kreischer on. I've had Murray Valeriano. I've had Sam Tripoli on. I've had Hal Sparks on.
Wow. Tripoli's amazing. He's been on mine for probably like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I had Tripoli on once. Richard Hunter's been on. Another Vegas comic.
Oh, Richard Hunter. Yeah, I know him. He's like gothy, kind of like rocker, like a rocker.
Yeah. He's Frank Mir's co-host for Phone Booth Fighting.
He's a cool dude, man. Yeah. You had Bert Kreischer. That's pretty huge. That's big.
I caught Bert at LA Podfest. I kind of ambushed him.
Oh yeah.
Like, yo, Bert. Like, I had him on. And the funny thing is, I have Bert's number. Like, I'm going to drag Bert a little bit on air right now, but I have Bert's number. He agreed that, like, he was going to come do a full episode at some point. And it's been, like, 4 years. It has not happened. This is stupid on my part, but it's hilarious to me. My rule of thumb on booking is, like, I'll try to book you once. If you cancel, flake, whatever, I'll give you one more opportunity. Like, if
that's fair.
Twice, that means you don't want to do the show. You're just being polite. This is the way I look at it. Like, once, it could be a fucking emergency, whatever.
Yeah.
So I gave Bert his twice. I ran into the store. I talked to him. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm totally down. Like, nothing. And then I rolled home after, like, a night at the bar one night at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, drunk. Saw Bert was still tweeting. I fucking didn't drunk dial, but I drunk text Bert, like, yo, Bert! Like, when you want to come do the show? He's like, I'm up. Yeah, I'm down. And obviously, it still never came together. But yeah, I definitely drunk texted Bert Kreischer at like 3 o'clock in the morning to do my podcast. Is kind of lame on my part. Just a little, but sometimes you got to shoot your shot.
Yeah. Well, he committed, though. He said he was going to do it.
Oh, yeah. So. I mean, I still have the text. I still have the fucking text. But it is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not mad at Bert about it. Like, oh, fuck you, Bert. Right. You said you were good. Like, whatever, man. Like, dude's a touring comic with a family, has multiple of his own podcasts. If he was just being polite, he's just being polite.
Sometimes things will, eventually come around and they'll happen, Like, when I met Brett Ernst, I mentioned I had a podcast, and he automatically offered, which was so cool of him. Hey, man, I'll be down to do it. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. But time passed, things happened, and next thing you know, one day I ran into him at the parking lot at the Strat. He's like, how's the podcast going? I'm like, it's great. I'm booking guests now, having them come over, and being all, I told him how I'm cleaning these, I'm boiling these in water and being all sanitized and all that shit. He's like, dude, I'll be here for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to leave to go film Cobra Kai season 4. I'm like, let's do it. Why wait? And then it happened. And so it's like, it's pretty cool when somebody commits and they actually, pull through. But it sometimes it just happens because things, I'm sure Bert's a super busy guy.
Oh, whatever, like, I don't take that shit personal. Like, every time I've ever ran into Bert, he's always been super cool. He's never been a dick. Like, I'm not taking it personal. I just think it's a funny story at this point that I fucking drunk texted Bert
it's great.
Fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. But it's also like with you and Brett, it's amazing when people are just like, oh yeah, no, I'm totally down. One of the biggest shows, in my opinion, like, my audience actually did not give a fuck for the most part, judging by the numbers. But what was a big show for me was Dino Cazares from Fear Factory.
Mm.
I don't know if you're familiar with them.
No.
They're a pretty big metal act. Like,
Oh, okay.
it was a band I listened to in high school.
Oh, okay.
He was their guitarist, like founding guitarist. And I ran into him backstage at a show in LA and just happened to be wearing a Fear Factory shirt that night, which was hilarious. Because I, at the bar and before I went backstage, just getting a drink and I hear, "Hey man, nice shirt." And I turn around, it's Dino. I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And when I was on it on All Access, so when I got backstage, we were just bullshitting. He's like, bullshit on social media. He's like, "So when am I going? When are you going to invite me on the podcast?" I'm like, "Oh, yes." I'm like, I had Dino in my fucking apartment, like recording a fucking podcast, and it was just like,
that's amazing.
Like, I listened to your band in high school. You're in my apartment telling me salacious tour stories. It was amazing because he's married now. And he's just like, "Honey, this is all before I met you. I love you," and then would go into fucking wild fucking tour stories.
Yeah, that's dope.
So for you, who's your number one get? Who'd you get that like was your number one?
One of them was Felipe. I mean, it's crazy. Like the power of just not giving a fuck. What's the worst that could happen? People could say no. So I hit him up on social media, and to me that was huge. Brett Ernst is another one. I keep bringing him up, but to me it was like, goddamn, he's a Comedy Store fucking regular. You know, it's to me that was huge. Just recently, especially to come back and having guests again, for him to be one of the big ones to do the show, that was great. You know, Edwin San Juan, eventually, it's crazy. Edwin San Juan is a Filipino comic who was coming out with Felipe and Joey Diaz around the same time in the early 2000s. And I had heard of him before I did comedy, and I would love his comedy. I hit him up one time. He did LA Comedy Club. He was on episode 8, or before I even hit 10 episodes. He was in one of, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this product I'm putting out there has allowed me to meet certain people to come on my show. And then I build relationships with him. He became my mentor and taught me so much about comedy. So that was huge for me. Another groundbreaking one was Michael Wheels Parisi. He was episode 20 or 21. He gave me the best, amazing comedy advice. Anybody that wants to know about comedy, Michael Wheels opened for Dice. He's best friends with Andrew Dice Clay. And he opened for him for the last 30 years, him and Eleanor. Eleanor eventually came later, but
Eleanor's great.
Yeah. That's another Comedy Store guy, Michael Wheels. So that was pretty big for me as well. And of course, Tripoli has been on and he's been great. But yeah, I guess I dragged it a little bit, but Felipe, he's one of my favorite comics out there. To this day, I love Felipe. I love his comedy. It's funny. My style of comedy is not even close to what I like to listen to. So I love Seinfeld, which is observational. And then I like somebody that's like Felipe, with a one-liner. And I do neither of those.
But then, that's fine. That's well and good. It's like, Metallica doesn't have to just listen to metal.
Yeah.
Like you can respect other forms of your art and do something completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's pretty much some of, but it's cool. It's like over the years I've had really fun guests on the show. Really, really cool and fun guests. And my co-host Ian Burford, he's been with me since almost around the time when I started the podcast, not as a co-host, but just being a frequent guest. They eventually became my co-hosts. So whenever he's not available, I still bust one out with a guest or whatever, but he's always on there. So
honestly, I feel like that's the right way to do it. As someone who's gone through 2 co-hosts, having someone who's like a regular guest turn into a co-host versus like we're doing this together, and then being like, this is not working out.
No, it's you can't just depend on that unless it was something you guys both started at the same time together, I guess. But the podcast is my baby. So like if my buddy can't make it, there's no hard feelings. We're grown-ups. He's not gonna be like, oh, you did that without me. He's a grown-up. He's not a child. He's cool. He'll still share and promote the show and stuff like that. So I know what you mean though. Like sometimes, because I've gone through another co-host as well while Ian was there, and it was a little bit of a weird fallout. But it was one of those things where it's like my buddy Ian was always there still, no matter what. He was always there. And
that's fucking awesome. Yeah, it's one of these things like doing this is like being in a fucking marriage. I mean, I don't know. I've never actually been married, but I'm assuming it's like a marriage.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
And it's a marriage that may not be fruitful at all. Like, as we were talking about earlier, it is a slog and a grind to be even remotely successful at podcasting. And both of us have been at this for a long fucking time by podcasting standards, and neither one of us make our sole income on this shit.
Yeah. And that's one thing that woke me up just recently. I'm like, why the fuck am I barely thinking about getting sponsors? Barely. Like, I should have been doing this a long time ago, getting sponsors. But sometimes when you do stuff just for the love of the art of doing it, you don't even think about that sometimes, especially if I have a day job, I have income. But I need to get more on that mentality of like, no, this is a hustle too. Just like I'm gaining money when I do comedy, something I love doing. This has to be another avenue for that.
100%. And even if it's just that hustle eventually, like where the podcast is selling tickets for when you start going on the road, that's still a fucking benefit and a hustle for you. Like,
right.
I know plenty of comics that are like using their demographics to be like, oh, I should be trying to book a show in this city because I have a lot of downloads there.
Yeah.
So for someone who's actually a comic, it has even more benefits than my fucking loudmouth ass because I'm not touring shit.
No, I get it, but like, it's like a comic could see where the downloads are coming from and go do shows there, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna put some asses in seats.
Yeah, like you could tell a club owner, be like, yo, I get this many downloads on average in your market. Put me up.
Right. Yeah. And that's happened. That's helped a lot too when doing shows, because people that listen to the podcast or people that follow me on social media, they'll go to shows that I've never met before, but they listen to the podcast, and it's like they'll say stuff that I say about other people. Like, I feel like I know you because I listen to your podcasts all the time. You're in my ear. I say the same thing about other podcast makers, broadcasters, that I'm like, I feel like I know this person. They have no idea who the fuck I am, but I know them. It's like they've said that to me before. Like, you're always like, I'm listening to you at work, man, and I listen to old episodes, and it's like, oh, it's cool, It's never gotten creepy, not yet.
Not yet. Give it time. Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry. You'll get there. You'll get no. It's an amazing thing. It's absolutely an amazing thing to be like, you get connections, and that's another part of the medium. Like, at least for me, I definitely overshare on this fucking show. Like, I've talked about getting chlamydia. Like, I've talked about having unprotected sex with people. Like, I've talked about a bunch of like shit that you generally don't have in polite conversations with people, and I'm fucking just putting it out on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful part of the fucking medium.
Yeah. That's.
You're married. You got to be a little more careful. A little.
I gotta be careful, man. I could just talk about before my marriage, my jerk off stories. I'm a prude. I've never really, like, and I'm fine with that. I'm like super happy. Been married 15 years, and I came from a very hardcore religious background that, like, I would jerk off and cry and ask Jesus to forgive me,
Man, you must have needed a Gatorade after jerking off, losing fucking tears and cum. You're just losing all your fluids.
Dude, all the fluids were gone, man. I needed to fucking rehydrate and shit.
Fucking, you come back from break, your eyes are all red. You're just fucking like look pale. Like,
What's the most times you ever jerked off?
I mean, in modern life or like ever?
I would say first, let's go with ever, and then
Oh, dude, like
modern.
back in high school, like probably 4 or 5 times, maybe 7 times in a day. Like,
Oh,
there were definitely times where I like jerked off so much it like, oh, it hurts to touch my dick.
yeah. I think I've been around 16, 17.
Wow, man, I'm putting up rookie
Yeah.
numbers here, man. Like,
Yeah,
you're like 6, 7,
yeah,
bitch,
yeah.
bitch, bitch,
I remember
bitch, 7. Fuck, get out of here with that 7. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, I
7.
looked at you. I was like, oh, really? Okay.
You bitch made motherfucker. 7. That's what you're bragging about. You're bragging
Yeah.
about the fucking bronze medal, Matt. Look at you bragging.
Yeah.
It was that fucking meme where like, yo, you got the guy in the bottle and the fucking biting the metal like 7, and Freddy's just like way up the podium like,
Oh yeah.
16's on average, man. 7.
Yeah.
Bitch. Bitch. So I gotta go now because I'm just apparently like don't have enough testosterone. I'm shamed. That was a good podcast. 16.
Yeah. But you got to pay the price though. I mean, you can't just do 16 and not pay a price. Yeah. So you get the whole fucking irritation, where it's like, shit, now I can't jerk off for 17 days, because you fucked up your skin, dude, that kind of thing. So
You're like 17 on or 16 on, 17 off, 16 on.
It's like intermittent fasting.
So, just, constant, man, just constant.
Yeah.
I'm just constantly getting the poison out. Not your marathon fucking coming. And like by the 16th pop, like, are you just like dust? It's just like a breeze of. There's no liquid coming out at that point.
This is even before I had poison come out. Like, when I discovered jerking, I lost my. I haven't said this on too many podcasts, but I lost my virginity to an orange. I fucked an orange. Okay, that was I didn't know how to jerk off. I just one day, like, my mom had one of those, those things you put in an orange, you squeeze the insides out so you can squeeze the juice out.
Yeah, a juicer, like.
Yeah. So one day I saw that, and just me being a fucking horny teenager, I grabbed the orange and I was grabbing it from the kitchen counter and moving. My finger went in it, and I'm like, oh. I was like, oh, this feels. I looked around, no one's watching. Put my dick in it. And then friction, just like fucking just friction, just started going at it, pulp friction. And eventually I fucking felt this amazing ecstasy feeling. I was like, I didn't know what fucking coming was. I was like, holy shit, I gotta do this again. And I think I did it like 10 more times after that with the orange. I only knew how to fuck an orange, dude, for like the first maybe month. I'm
just wondering, like, how you managed to not get like citric acid or orange juice in your fucking urethra.
I don't know. There were very sweet oranges. I don't know. Mandarins.
You're just dumb lucky, because that would have fucking traumatized you for life. Like, fuck.
That's true.
Oh!
Yeah, dude. I remember, and then I remember I would fucking grab the orange and I would fucking rip it up I would just destroy it, and just throw it in the trash and spread it around the trash. So, but it was like all of a sudden there was like I was going through a lot of oranges. My mom's like probably thinking I need to buy more. He's liking the oranges. He's being a good boy, getting his vitamin C. And then the first time I saw the poison come out, bro, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? It was like a little drop. I'm like, oh, yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, I went through a lot of like, I was one of those kids, man. Just, yeah.
See, this is why, like, being really religious is bad. Like,
you can't be sheltering your kids, man.
Fuck no. Like,
they're gonna do shit like this.
Well, they're gonna find out on their own, because they're gonna have these fucking urges, and like, they won't be comfortable enough to fucking talk to you about it. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's no good. It's no fucking good.
Yeah. Worse than getting acid in my urethra. How bad would it have been if my mom would have walked in on me while I'm fucking an orange, dude? That would have been pretty traumatizing.
It probably would have been. I'm sure she would have eventually gotten over it.
I'm not me. I've never been caught. But if I would have, that would have been bad.
You've never been caught. No one's ever walked in on you, ever.
Other than that gay guy in the stall, no. But he didn't really know what I was doing. I was just walking with my dick out. You know? Yeah, I've never been caught. You been caught?
Oh, I mean, I've definitely had someone like walk in on me like fucking humping a pillow like as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Like not full dick out in my hand, but it's still like someone walked in like me,
Yeah, humping a pillow.
Humping a pillow, like, oh, sorry.
I used to put the orange in between, like I would grab I got creative, bro. I was like putting it in between a pillow and the couch pillow. And I was like fucking the couch, dude. I'm telling you, dude. I need to create a joke. Pulp friction. That'd be great.
You do.
Something like that. Like, I've never really done it on stage, but something's got to come out of that. Because a lot of the shit I do is just stories anyway, so.
No, you definitely should tell that story on stage. Because that's definitely a bit no one can fucking steal.
True. Yeah, that's true.
That is
this is before the flashlight, dude.
All right.
That was the 90s. It was like 97, 96.
Yeah, sex toys in those days were just some blow-up doll or some shit.
Yeah. I didn't know what a sex toy was. I'm telling you, I was so shocked. I didn't know how to jerk off. I didn't know until I think the next year in school. I went in as a freshman in high school and somebody mentioned about they did a hand movement jerking off, and I was like, What do you mean? With your hand? Yeah, you do it with your hand. Oh, okay. Then I tried it. I'm like, then that's when I said goodbye to oranges.
All of a sudden, you got fucking fucking orange.
On a new love.
All of a sudden, Freddy's got scurvy because he's fucking no oranges no more.
My vitamin C intake is really low now. It's like I start getting sick. Maybe that's why I haven't gone sick this year.
You've gone back to fucking oranges? Does the wife know about that?
Yeah. All the vitamin C I took over the years. Who knows? Yeah.
But yeah, you got to definitely tell that story on stage.
Yeah. I couldn't. For the longest time, like I said, I didn't know what a sex toy was, but I would see an orange and I was like, I could fuck that orange.
You ever later in life see an orange and just get a random erection? Like, oh shit, this is not the right place.
I'm in the orange section at the store, just have a boner.
You just pick an orange up to like see how fucking. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh fuck. Shit.
There's a Mexican dude selling oranges on the side of the street, and I stop by just to squeeze him. Like, no bueno.
No bueno.
Yeah. Just have a sack of oranges stored in the closet. Yeah.
Wife's going to visit her mom. Got some oranges.
Yeah. So I've never, and I guess I gotta wrap up soon, but I gotta tell you this story. When we moved to Vegas, I moved out here about a month and a half before my wife did. And, me being a good husband, faithful, I never said, oh, I'm going to go check out a strip club, this is me giving myself a pep talk. Like I'm a good husband. But one day I went into a porn shop and it was around the time when Rogan was advertising the fleshlight quite a bit. So I went in there looking for a fleshlight and I went and bought me one. So I was banging a fleshlight while my wife was in Reno, just taking care of business, doing my own thing. But I forgot about it. I threw it in the trunk in the little black bag you get from the porn shop. I just forgot about it, dude. Didn't think anything of it. Finally, my wife moves to Vegas. I found a place for us to live. And I'm happy. I got a new job out here. She's enjoying Vegas, our new chapter in our life. Well, one day she cleans the car and she finds the fucking fleshlight in the bag all hot. You know, it's Vegas. It's like melting and shit, all mangled. And she took pictures of it. She brought it out of the car, put it on the kitchen counter, and took pictures of it and sent it to me, asking like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?" It's in there's a case that looks like a flashlight. She had never heard of this shit, and that was the most embarrassing. Like, I've never been caught in the process, like in the act, but that was so embarrassing, bro. I was like, I felt like disappearing. Just
oh man.
Oh yeah.
I gotta know, whose fleshlight was it?
It was this black porn star.
Misty Stone?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure because there's only a few black porn stars that have their own fleshlights.
Let me look her up, because if I see her, I'll tell you who it was. You says Misty Stone?
That'd be my guess.
This shit's gonna be in my search history. Yeah, that's her.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
I'm a professional, sir.
Guess.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, that was great.
I work in this industry.
Yeah, that's great, dude. Good fucking job. Holy shit. Yeah, that's good, dude. Holy shit. Now I got to put this in my archive. Misty Stone. Hell yeah. That's a great name. Great porn name. You know her?
Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Let her know that she got me in trouble, man.
Oh, no, don't worry.
I got myself in trouble.
I'll make a clip out of this and I'll tag her.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy, dude. That was one of the questions, too. She's like, why is it African American? That was one of the questions. I was like so embarrassed, dude. I was like so embarrassed because here I am fucking a fucking plastic container, you know? But hey, it was Misty Stone. Not bad.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, you didn't go get a pro. You didn't go outside of your marriage. Your wife should be happy about that shit.
Yeah, that's why I told her. I'm like, be happy, girl. I'm faithful.
Right? I got needs, but I'm faithful.
Oh, yeah. Now we laugh it off. And
how long after did it take to get to laughing it off, though?
Okay, so my wife has a great attitude. She, as soon as I walked in the door, like, she was mad at me all day, and I walked in, I just couldn't contain my laughter, because immediately I thought, this is gonna be something I talk about on stage, and eventually I did. I'll send you the clip. Of I don't do this joke anymore, but as soon as I walked in, I was just like, I couldn't contain it. She looks at me and she starts laughing. The fucking flashlight is still on the kitchen counter. I'm like, you couldn't throw it away. You had to leave it there, like literally mangled and melted on the fucking. It looked like it was melted, dude. Like a jellyfish.
How dare you do that to Misty Stone's vagina? How dare you, sir?
Yeah,
Not right.
I should have been more. I should have taken care of Misty Stone's plastic vagina.
Right? You should treat it with care and respect.
Yeah. You know, I did that story on stage at the South Point, and this lady that was friends with somebody from Fleshlight, she asked me for the clip. She said, my friend works at Fleshlight, and I think he could send you some fleshlights, because this is hilarious. And they actually sent me like a bunch of fleshlights. I gave them to all my friends. Yeah. That should be a fucking sponsor for the podcast, Fleshlight.
I agree. I honestly should be looking into doing that. On the episode that is out, like, right now, me and the guest did a whole bit about fleshlights, so probably should, I probably should be a little more like, hey, fleshlight, please, please.
Yeah, this would be a good clip to send them too. Maybe they'll send you some stuff. They sent me a box full of them, dude, and it was like the quick shot, the little ones, a bunch of fucking lotions or whatever. Yeah. But it was pretty embarrassing, man.
Hey, at least your wife was cool about it. Like, you definitely hear horror stories about, like, wives leaving people over shit like that.
Yeah, you hear stuff like that. Yeah, that's true.
Or like, oh my God, I can't believe you're watching porn. That's cheating on me.
Yeah, exactly. Very ancient, very old-fashioned thinking. Yep. Yep. Yeah, bro. Well, man, I don't want to be the guy saying, "Oh, let's wrap up." I
Oh, no.
gotta.
You said you were going to do an hour, and it's been over 2. So I think you're good to go. I mean, you're like, oh, we're going to do an hour, right? Oh, yeah, we'll do an hour.
That's how I am too with the guests. I'm like, yeah, we'll do 30 to 45 minutes. Next thing you know.
Oh, no, I tell people 2 hours, and then sometimes it goes longer.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
Of course. Freddie, before you run, where can they find you? Where can they find your podcast? All the things. Where can they find your amazing clips? Tell the people where they can fucking find you, man.
Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram. You could follow my what's the handle? FredReker, Fred Recker, Freddy Correa on all social media. You might find Selena's backup singer, Freddy Correa, because apparently we have the same name. A lot of my traction on I've had is people thinking I'm Selena's backup singer, so I use it to my advantage. Whatever.
Oh, I mean, I would too. Shit, I should have a better stage name. It's the same as someone else who's already famous. Fuck.
But yeah, thanks for the invite. Podcast. You can find it on anywhere you find podcasts, pretty much. But follow me, hit me up, tag me, and let me know you heard me on here. And maybe if I get sponsored by Fleshlight, I'll send you a Fleshlight. Who knows?
Nice. Only if you send me Misty Stones. Like
Misty Stone, yeah. Is she still doing her thing?
Last I checked, but who knows after 2020 who's doing what anymore.
Oh, also check out Matt Slayer on my podcast on episode 188.
Yeah, a couple fucking years ago. I was being a shitbag on his podcast, and I occasionally do other people's podcasts. It's fun.
Yeah, episode 188. You were on my podcast, so you can check that out. Just type in Matt Slayer. Thanks for the invite, and it'll pop up.
Yeah, actually, if you just Google me, it pops up pretty near to the top. Thank you again, Freddie. And as always,
hell yeah, man.
You can find me at Matt_Slayer on Twitter, Matt Slayer on Instagram, Matt F. Slayer on Facebook, twitch.tv/Matt F. Slayer. You can find the podcast at And Now We Drink on Twitter, and Now We Drink _ on Instagram. And until next week, drink up, motherfuckers.